Last night, Purdue set a record for the most wins in a 5-year period in Big Ten history. In Matt Painter's own words, he said, "We are the winningest program in a 5-year span in Big Ten history." Said this on the senior night festivities, addressing the crowd with a microphone in hand at Mackey Arena. There's no doubt this has been the glory years of the Matt Painter era at Purdue. They've had one seeds, they made a national championship run, they've hung Big Ten championship banners, they've had National Player of the Year twice, they've had Big Ten Player of the Years coming in the future, likely. It's been an incredible run of talent and success for Purdue basketball. But I don't know that anyone even realized this was coming. To frame it that way in a career on Caleb first night of like, this is the winningest stretch any team in Big Ten history has ever had. It's kind of jaw dropping for me to hear that because I didn't realize that was going on. What's your reaction to, assuming you're like me, discovering that Purdue is the winningest program in Big Ten history in a 5-year span?
It makes me chuckle to attach that to Caleb first. Like he's the face of the winningest Purdue 4-year, 5-year stretch of all time. No, I mean it makes sense to me. This last 5 years has been Purdue. Like it's been Edie, it's been Big Ten banners, it's been one seeds, it's been Final Four trips, championship game appearances. This has been an incredible 5-year stretch for them. Um, they have won a lot of Big Ten games over a lot of typical Big Ten powers. Like Painter's winning more games than Izzo. He's winning more games than Underwood. Any Big Ten coach you want to throw in there, he has somewhat. Not even. I mean, it's fair to say he's ran this conference the past 5 years. So I mean, it's
Do we
credit to
know exactly what is it just total wins?
Big
Is that
Ten
what you
wins.
meant? Because I'm trying to look up my initial reaction to this was like, seriously? Not out of disrespect, but like looking back at the 5 years ago, Purdue didn't have a great season, right?
And maybe he's counting this year and then the 4 years prior.
So in 21, Purdue won 18 games. That's why I was surprised to frame it this way.
Maybe it's got to be
Um,
the year before that then.
no, it's got to include this year because the year before that they won 16 games. So the 5-year stretch, let's just tally this up just to make sure. But in 2021, Purdue won 18 games. Then they had the 3-year stretch that was insane. They won 29 games the Jaden Ivey year. They won 29 games the Edie year. They won 34 games the national title run year. And then this year so far they have 21, presumably with 4 to 5 more wins coming if all goes well, right? So, all right, let's just, I mean, 29, 29, 34 is like obviously insane. 18 plus 29 plus 29 plus 34 plus 21 is 131 wins with some time left. I think that makes sense that that would be the highest number ever. But I kind of want to quickly fact check that with Michigan State's Tom Izzo glory years. Because what's 131 divided by 5 is 26 wins a year?
Think so. Wait, is it?
Yeah. Okay, so wait. Tom Izzo from 2006 to 2007, 22 wins plus 23. To 2008 was 27. To 2009 was 31. To 2010 was 28. That's 131 wins. Is that the same number Purdue just had?
It just Big Ten wins, right?
Is it just Big Ten so it doesn't include the seasons overall?
Yeah, no, it's just Big Ten.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just Big Ten wins.
Okay. Well, and Purdue's going to break that with one more win, but just Big Ten.
Just Big Ten.
You're positive that's what he means here?
Yeah, and big because he said in Big Ten, he said the quote was, "With the win over UCLA, we become the winningest program in a 5-year period in Big Ten history."
But see, I thought that just meant
Oh, like in
the
the
winningest
big.
Big Ten team in 5 years. Yeah. Although, okay, yeah, they've had crazy Big Ten records. I think this makes more sense if it's just Big Ten records.
It's got to be Big Tens.
Because that'd be 13, 14, 15, 17. and then 13 this year. So 72 wins in 5 years, an average of 14 per year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they had a crazy run in the Big Ten.
let me vet that with Izzo. Yeah, Izzo had 16, 16, 14, but then like nine tanked it. And then yeah, going back to the beginning, it was all like 13. So that's definitely it. The
Yeah,
best, most Big Ten wins in those spans.
yeah, that and also that set people off when he said that because you got replies such as lost to Mike Woodson 4 times, lost to 3 double-digit seeds in that 5 year span. Um, everything else that came with it. But look, this has been the Purdue in this has been the Purdue era in the last 5 years in the
Yeah,
regular season for the Big Ten. There's no denying that. Big Ten Player of the Year, National Player of the Year, 1 seeds, all that. Yeah, you can't deny that.
it is it has been the Purdue era. The last 3 years have been the Purdue era. It's still technically, I think, is and should be the Purdue era. Does this hit differently at all to you that they're not at the top of the podium as he's sort of acknowledging this? Like to me, it hits a lot different if they're hanging another banner this year to drop that than it does off a 4 game losing streak.
Yeah, I mean, interesting timing to bring it up for sure. But when you
Got to flaunt what you got.
got to flaunt, you know what I'm saying? You got to talk your shit a little bit. If that's what you
Yeah.
got, go ahead and do that. Maybe he's talking to shit because they aren't hanging a banner. And now that the Big Ten is saved and uh, Daddy's home.
How uh how will you remember this 5 year stretch? Because you had, like I mentioned, Ivy, Caleb, or not Caleb Swang, excuse me, Travion Williams was a Purdue legend coming into that. But when Ivy and Travion Williams were here, nobody realized what was coming with Zach Edey and Braden Smith. So how will you remember this 5 year run?
I'll remember it as Purdue giving my team hell and winning the Big Ten, and my team couldn't do shit about it. And watching Zach Edey bust our ass and watching Braden Smith bust our ass, like that's how I'll remember. I'll remember it as like Purdue basically kind of owning us. And as a fan trying to grasp at straws, I had to be like, I had to fall in line with other fans. Like you lost to a 16 seed, you lost a double-digit seed. You had to grasp at all these like straws for like what this team was doing in March until they overcame that and went to the national championship game last year. So I will remember it as just Purdue being better than the rest of the Big Ten. Like they just were.
Yeah, they were. I think they were the best team. Like even this year, we at times picked them to win the Big Ten, right? Like
Mhm.
there's been a lot of I mean, even Braden Smith should win Big Ten Player of the Year this year, right? So there's been somebody on Purdue each of the last 5 seasons that the league has sort of ran through. I think it's incredibly unique and incredibly special. We'll look back on this years from now to remember a 5 year run that went from Jaden Ivey to 2 years of Zach Edey to 2 more years of Braden Smith.
Yeah.
Like how many programs have that 5 year run with three players that are the face of your program like that?
Yeah,
Like
it's
you're
about
talking about a 2 time National Player of the Year, one of the greatest players ever, followed by maybe a 2 time Big Ten Player of the Year, the Big Ten's all-time assist leader. And those guys were on the same team. And oh, by the way, they follow Jaden Ivey, who was the highest draft pick in Purdue history under Painter. Like,
yeah. What's next?
what is next? Is CJ Cox gonna become the next guy?
Jakari Harris.
It's crazy. In all seriousness, what an accomplishment for Purdue basketball.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure this isn't the last we'll hear about it.
Also, they love the word winningest. Because remember, there was like Braden and Fletcher were on some graphics the social team was putting out, like the winningest backcourt in college hoops.
Hmm. Yeah, they do love that. I will say this is better. They come a long way from when like they did the tribute video when they were like number 3 in the AP poll and then lost the following game.
That was crazy.
I like this approach better.
Yeah, they have started celebrating really impressive accomplishments,
They started acting like champions.
which I love.
Yeah,
Yeah, tip of the cap to them. Even when they're not champions, they're acting like champions.
good on them.
It's good DNA.